Hello, I'm Charles Reese, and today I'll be examining the vocation of chemical process technology. In 1996, I had worked for a can manufacturing plant for 26 years. I came in to work one day and was informed that the plant would be shutting down. Uh, After the initial shock, from that, uh, I decided that I would pursue another another job, and they did send employment counselors in and talk to us, and they introduced us to process technology. Uh, and you can imagine after 26 years being on one job, not having ever interviewed during that time, how the shock was. But I did interview. I mean, did. Went to training for this particular job, and eventually went into the job and spent 15 years on the job. Uh, and we'll talk a little bit about what process technology is and what jobs are involved in process technology, the skills required for process technology. And first, let me give you a little definition according to Charles Thomas, who wrote the book on Introduction to Process Technology. He says it's a study and application of scientific principles associated with the operation and maintenance of chemical process technology. And process technology basically involves four process variables. Those variables are pressure, level, flow, and temperature. And involved in process technology, you want to know how these variables interact with each other, because that's basically how your process runs. You have to know how pressure affects temperature, and how temperature affects pressure, and affects level, and flow as well, because they all kind of interact with each other. Some of the jobs we'll be talking basically about two jobs involved. Which one is the inside operator and one is the outside operator. The outside operator spends most of the time outside, and his job is to monitor all the equipment outside. And some of that equipment involved would be pumps, compressors, heat exchangers, and the gauges that display the variables. And from time to time, they will take pressure readings and record them. They also do process samples and record that as well. The credentials required for this, in most cases, would be a 2-year process technology degree. And in some cases, experience would get you in maybe 4 to 5 years of experience, and you could get in on the ground floor of that particular job and work from there. And it'd be basically on-the-job training that you could be involved. But most of the time, it requires a 2-year process technology degree. The demand for the operations, well, the outside operator, and then you have an inside operator, which knows the job, the same job as the outside operator, and he works on the inside, which monitor and the control room, which is run by computers, and he interacts closely with the outside operator, and they communicate with radios back and forth as to what needs to be done outside and what's going on outside. If you have a pump, for instance, that doesn't show a flow while it's pumping, then he goes out and checks out the pump to find out exactly what's causing the problem. The demand for operators are pretty high, and according to Charles Thomas, who wrote this, he said that there will be a continuing need for operators throughout the industry, and most of those industries would be chemical process, and also refineries, basically the same job knowledge. And the need would be great for them because they have a big turnover in the next 10 to 20 years. There'll always be a need for them because the people that's retiring and the upgrading of equipment and the need for more process operators. The compensation for that, Thomas said in 2000, the salary was anywhere from $33,000 to $50,000. And of course now it would be much more, and I would say it'd be more closer to $50,000 to $70,000. And overtime run anywhere from 25 to 30%, which could make it considerably higher. And so, the base for first year would be anywhere from 50 to 70,000, but with the overtime that you expected to have, it should be much more. Okay. The conclusion as of March 2013, according to the Department of Labor, that is a 7.6% unemployment rate, and also as of April 2013, unemployment claims has been from 339,000 claims. So with that demand, and the availability of the employment in the chemical process industry, it should be, a great opportunity for anybody that would be interested in going into process technology. If most of the time you would have to have a basic mechanical ability and be able to work shift work, because all of them will require rotating shift, mostly weekend work, and like I said, anywhere from 25 to 30% overtime. Okay. This vocation does support God's value in human creativity, truthful or righteousness, and which is supported by Exodus 35 and 31. And it says, "And he had filled him with the Spirit of God and wisdom and understanding, knowledge, and all workmanship." And another thing that God would value in this particular vocation, most of the time it's a small knit group, and they all work fairly close together, and it's a great opportunity for being able to evangelize them. So that's why I feel, that it could be supported as one of God's values. And that's basically it.